You was there through it all. You was there. My ups and downs, knew somehow you was involved. When I was scared, you had me there standing tall. I was tall. When I was down, you got me out, even if I had to crawl. And I know that you don't need me.
Man, all praises that he found us. He found me. Shalawam, shalawam. Let's give all praises be to the Most High Yahweh. Once again, all praises be to the Most High Yahweh and his only begotten Son, our brother, our friend, Hamashiach Yahushai. Thank you for tuning in. If you have tuned in, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share, comment button. Please hit that like so we can continue to edify, continue to get these messages out to our people. Hopefully you enjoyed the little intro. I like that because he said he had those angels capped around us when we didn't even realize and we didn't even know it. As I like to dive right into the scriptures, I'm going to start off always as Proverbs 3 words of wisdom. And it says, "My son, forget not my law, but let thy heart keep my commandments for length of days, and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them upon thy neck, write them upon the table of thy heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of the Most High and man. Trust in Yahweh with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil." So today I want to talk a little bit about pride. That's what this message will be on. So let's dive right into the lesson. Once again, thank you for tuning in. And we'll be in the book of Ahchwaths, chapter 10 is where I'm going to start at. It's in the 1611 King James Bible. If you do not have your 1611 King James Bible, please go and get you one. Once again, this is the book of Ahchwaths, okay? King James, chapter 10, and I'll start at verse 12, since we'll be talking about pride today. The beginning of pride is when the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin. So in order to sin, we have to have some type of pride. This is why I wanted to go into it. A lot of times we think we don't have pride. Well, I can't speak for other people. I can only speak for myself and what my walk is. But you see other people in their walk too. But I can only speak for myself and my walk. So if we happen to sin, it has to do with pride. When we stumble or we fall short, it has to do with pride. Pride is somewhere in there. Even though we don't think that it's pride, it is pride. Pride is in there lurking. For the Bible says, for pride is the beginning of sin. So it's just the beginning of it. And he that hath, it shall pour out abominations, meaning you're going to do things very sinful that go against the Most High, even abominations. And therefore, Yahweh brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Why? Because pride is the beginning of sin. Let's jump down a little bit. Want to pull two more. 18. And it says, "Pride was not made for man, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman." So pride wasn't made for us. We understand when Adam failed, things entered into the world that should not have been. So it says pride was not made for man. Why? Because pride makes you go off into sin, and it makes you pour forth. It makes you to pour forth or bring forth abominations, as it says right here. And he shall, and he that have it shall pour out abominations. So that's why pride was not made for man, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. They that fear Yahweh are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that are regarded, they that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. So if you go against the commandments and transgress, remember that word, transgress. If you transgress the commandments and go against it, you are a deceivable seed. Remember that. So remember also, pride was not made for man, neither was anger. And back up here in 12, as it says, the beginning of pride is when one departeth from the Most High, and his heart is what? Turned away from his maker. So pride turns you away from your creator, your maker. This is why they have pride festivals, pride feasts, pride month. You know, anything to do with pride, the Bible is letting you know that that individual or those people have departed from their creator. They have turned their heart, turned their minds against their creator. Okay? Let's jump into Paul a little bit. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11. Paul said, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. So let's get into what he's speaking about here. Let's click on this, a child. All right.
Strong's G 3516. Napios. Napios.
That's the Greek. So the biblical usage is an infant, a little child, a minor, not of age. Metaphor, childish, untaught, or unskilled. Right? Then it says right here, i.e. an example, infant, minor, figuratively, a simple-minded person, an immature Christian, a babe, a child. So this is what he's talking about. Simple-minded person, immature Christians. He was untaught and unskilled. Untaught and unskilled. Simple-minded. So remember, this is Proverbs 1, verse 20. Wisdom is crying out in the streets. Her voice is loud in the open places. Her words are sounding in the meeting places and in the doorways of the town. How long How long, you simple ones, will foolish things be dear to you? And what? Pride. Here we go with this pride. Notice it says, simple ones will foolish things be dear to you, and pride a delight to the haters of authority. Who is the authority? The Most High Yahweh. How long will the foolish go on hating what? Knowledge. How long will the simple ones? Paul is saying right here in 1 Corinthians chapter 13:11, when he was a child, let's go back to it real quick. When he was a child, he spake as a child. He understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. And clearly when we go to the Greek to get the definition of what he means by that, of what a child was, it's someone who was untaught, unskilled, a simple-minded person, an immature Christian. And Proverbs 1:20 is letting us know that these simple ones These simple-minded ones, they hate what? Authority. And they hate knowledge. Why? Because of the pride. So they're walking around as a child, as children, untaught, unskilled, simple-minded person. And then you also have certain believers, as you will call it, that are Christians, that are immature Christians, that are babes, right? And we understand that when you're an immature Christian, and the scriptures speak about you being a babe, that you allow for certain things to transpire. How do we know? Well, let's get it. We'll use the same letter, and we'll go into immature Christians. Here it is, 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 1. And I, brethren, could not speak to you as unto spiritual, but unto carnal or fleshly, even as to who? Babes, an immature Christian, in Hamashiach. I fed you with what? Milk. Because that's what infants, that's what babes, that's what people who are unskilled or untaught, that's what you have to feed them, milk, and not with meat. For hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet now are you able to bear it. For you are yet what? Fleshly, carnal. For as there is among you envying, strife, divisions, are you not fleshly or carnal, and walk as man? So Paul is letting you know that these people right here, these Corinthians, are unskilled. They're untaught. They're unlearned. They're simple ones, simple-minded. They were children. This is why he said in chapter 13, Salakia, where we was, in verse 11, he's letting even further to know when I was a child. Because we all start off somewhere. I spake as a child and understood as a child. He understood what? The scriptures as a child, meaning a babe, immature. And then when he thought of things, he thought of it like a child. But when I became a man, I put away those childish things, right? Child, we already showed what that was. Childish, untaught, unskilled, a minor, not of age, a little child. The Strong's definition gives us an infant, a minor, a simple-minded person, an immature Christian, a babe. As Paul just spoke about in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, a babe. He fed them with what? Milk, because they were what? Infants, as you can see right here. An infant, a little child. But see, let's see what happened when he became a man. Let's go into it a little bit right here. Click on that. With reference to age and to distinguish an adult man from a boy. Of course, when you become a man, it's giving you all the things that you become: a husband, a male, betrothed as a husband. But main thing is you want to be able to distinguish an adult, a mature individual in the faith, as opposed to what? A boy, a child. And this is why he references that. And then he puts those childish things away. And this is why he said this. That was 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. And this is why I reference this one about Proverbs 1:20 to 122 about the pride and delight to the haters of authority. How long the foolish ones are foolish go on hating knowledge. How long will they go on hating knowledge? Proverbs 29:23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in the spirit. So if you have pride, it will bring you low. It will bring you down. It could be your downfall, holding on to the pride. It's all throughout the Bible. Look at this one. The fear of man bringeth the snare. If you fear man, it bringeth the snare. But whoso putteth his trust in Yahweh shall be safe. Remember what we read earlier in the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10. It says, a man's pride shall bring him low. If we go back here, it says the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abominations. So it's letting us know that the pride will bring you low and have you doing things that you ought not to do. Pride, 122. The simple ones. You don't want to be a simple one. Let's get it here. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the what? Pride of life, is not of the Father, but of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So what's this pride of life? Let's click on this. John 2:16. Let's go down here. Pride. The Greek 2:12.
Strong's G 212. Aladzaniah. Aladzaniah.
Sound like somebody's name today. Aladzaniah. So let's get it. Boasting. Pride. Empty braggart talk. So if you don't know what braggart means, let's click on it. What's the definition?
Braggart.
A person who boasts about achievements or possessions. So this is what pride is, right? A person who boasts about achievements or possessions. That's what a braggart is.
Braggart.
And that's what somebody who has pride. It says empty braggart talk. Okay. The second one, let's get this other word.
Insolent.
Insolent, showing a rude or ignorant lack of respect. That's what this word
Insolent.
is. Insolent. So let's go back here. An insolent or empty assurance. Notice it keep talking about empty. Keep this word in your mind. Empty, empty. An insolent or empty assurance. What trusts in his own power, like people do today. They trust in their own power and resources, and shamefully despise and violates divine laws and human rights. That's what pride is. Notice, showing a rude or ignorant lack of respect. So these people that are very prideful are ignorant. Let's go to 3.
Impious.
Impious. That's the next word. Not showing respect or reverence, especially to the Most High. So they don't show respect or reverence, especially to the Most High. So an impious and empty, keep that word, empty, presumption was trust in the stability of what? Earthly things. These prideful people, they trust in earthly things. Look at this one. The Strong's definition, an example. This is like some hood word, braggadocious. An example by implication, what is this? Self-confidence, boasting, pride. So to have self-confidence and to boast about it, which is what everybody does to these days, especially on social media or anything, is pride. And we read already that what? The beginning of pride is when one departeth from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. So we have to understand that this self-confidence, this boasting, this pride, this braggadocious, if I'm pronouncing that right, this braggart talk, it's all empty. Empty. Notice it keeps saying that, empty. Empty assurance. Everything is empty. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. This is the 1611, once again, King James Bible. 2nd Ezra, chapter 7. And I'm going to just drop down to verse 20. If you have not read the book of 2nd Ezra, I encourage you to please go and read the whole book. But I will be starting right here, 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 20. And it says, "For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. For the Most High have given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things." So these people that come into the earth that are born of a woman, they were given straight commandments to what they should do to live. But it says, nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things. Verse 23, "And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his law have they despised, and denied the covenants, the old and the new covenant. In his statutes have they not been faithful." They haven't been faithful in his statutes, and have not performed his what? Works. And therefore, Ezra, as I said, Salakia, as I said earlier, remember that word empty. This is Ezra speaking to an angel, or a malak, if those know in Hebrew. And it says, "And therefore, Ezra, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things." That's why I said, remember this word empty. So the angel is telling Ezra that, and therefore, Ezra, for empty are empty things. Who is empty? The prideful person. Pride. It says the first thing it says in the biblical usage is what? Empty. So when you're a prideful person, when you use braggart talk, we see what the word definition braggart is: a person who boasts about achievements or possession. These things are empty. They're empty. There's nothing there. This is what the Bible is letting us know. This is why the angel was telling him, Ezra, for empty are empty things. So those possessions and achievements that you're boasting about are empty things. They really don't matter. They really are nothing. I hope you can see that. That's why I said, remember this word empty. They're putting their trust in what? Earthly things. Earthly things. And listen what it says: despise and violates the divine law, which is what Ezra was saying right here. Verse 24, but his law have they despised. What law is this? The divine law. The royal law have they despised, and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore, Ezra, for empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. So you have to ask yourself, are you going to be empty? Are you going to live in pride? This is why John wrote to us and said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of this world. So I just wanted to speak a little bit about pride today. Hopefully it was edifying. Hopefully you get something from it. That this pride of life is truly empty. As Ezra said right here, empty are empty things. And this is why people get on social media and things, TV, radio, and they boast about what? Their achievements and possessions. Braggart talk. A braggart man. Listen to this. A person who boasts loudly. You see it. Like I say, hopefully it was edifying. Hopefully you get something from it. We give all praises, honor, and glory, esteem to the Father Yahweh. The water for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share. And with that, we're going to get out of here and say, Kwam Yasharala, Shalawam.
You got me this far, I just hope that you keep me. You got me this strong, please continue to use